Good morning. Thanks for joining us for the News 12 FastCast. I'm Nick Proto. It's 11:50 on our Friday, October 25th. It's Friday. That means high school football, and tonight it means Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee. The annual event with food, vendors, and music in North Augusta is going on its 38th year. Sydney Hood gives us a preview.
Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee is back in North Augusta. You can see behind me they are setting up the stage. We've got some food trucks and vendors out in the streets of downtown North Augusta getting set up, getting ready to kick off this afternoon and into tomorrow as well. Now, this is one of the big major events that is still going on since Hurricane Helene hit us. We've had several events that are canceled because of the hurricane, but Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee is not one of them. You'll hear more about what this means for the city, what this means for you heading into the weekend, and what you can expect, and come out here and get a sense of normalcy for the first time in about a month or so. So be sure and check out this story coming up on tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock. We'll have updates for you on our app and our website, WRDW.com.
All right, thanks for that, Sydney. As we approach 1 month since Hurricane Helene hit, we're still seeing tons of debris around the CSRA. The city's asking people to move that debris to the edge of their yard just off the road, but that's not always possible for everyone. Kennedy Payne tells us about a group helping those who aren't able to move all that debris.
You might have a pile of debris that's in your front yard, or you see it when you're driving down the road, and you might be wondering when it's going to be all cleaned up. We've been following the status of the debris pickup since the storm happened, but today we're going to be checking in with Richmond, Columbia, and Aiken County to see where they're at, whether or not they're on track for their timeline, and what areas they're focusing on right now. But what happens if you can't pick up the debris and put it to the side of the road? Either you can't physically do it yourself, or maybe you can't afford to pay someone to do it. Well, here in Augusta, Sweat with a Vet worked with 2 combat veterans to help clean up their yard after the storm to make sure the debris got to the side of the road so the city could pick it up. And they did it all for free. If you'd like to check out that story, it's going to be on News 12 at 6 o'clock, also on our website at WRDW.com and on our app.
All right, thanks, Kennedy. New this morning, a Grovetown man is wanted in a kidnapping case. Officials say 19-year-old Jameer Humphreys has multiple felony warrants for false imprisonment, kidnapping, battery, and cruelty to children from a case Thursday night. They say he's about 5'7", 180 pounds with brown eyes and brown hair, and he has connections to Grovetown and Harlem. If you know where he is, call Grovetown Police. Plenty of time still to go in the early voting centers for Richmond County. Early voting runs throughout the weekend. Today and tomorrow, all voting centers are open from 8:30 to 6. On Sunday, you can only go to the municipal building from 8:30 to 6. In Columbia County, you can go to building G3, the former Uchee Creek Library, and the school district support department complex from 8 to 5. Early voting tomorrow is from 9 to 6. In Aiken County, early voting runs from 8:30 to 6. You can go to the elections office, North Augusta Community Center, Roy Warner Park, or the Odell Weeks Recreation Center. There is no early voting on Sunday in Aiken. Early voting sites are on WRDW.com. A car accident with a Richmond County patrol car stalled traffic on Gordon Highway. This was the scene yesterday afternoon at Bayvale Road. We found 14 law enforcement officers at the scene and the traffic light out there. It looked like the crash involved a white Impala, and the patrol car appeared to be T-boned. We're working to figure out what led up to that accident and if anybody got hurt. 2 former Richmond County deputies pleading guilty to federal civil rights charges involving an assault on a jail detainee. This is an update from a story first investigated by our I-team. It's in connection to an incident at the Charles B. Webster Detention Center back in May of 2022. Body cam footage shows the deputies using unnecessary force when responding to inmates protesting living conditions. At least 5 law enforcement officers are facing charges. 52-year-old Daniel DeVersa and 27-year-old Melissa Morello each pled guilty to deprivation of civil rights under color of law. DeVersa and Morello each face up to 10 years in federal prison. Meredith Anderson will have more on this coming up later tonight. We now know who died in a crash on Peach Orchard Road Wednesday. Deputies went to investigate at Louisa Road around 10 o'clock that night. The coroner says 59-year-old Lynette Taylor of Hepzibah was hit as she tried to cross the road. No autopsy will be scheduled. A 21-year-old man is in jail this morning in connection to a home invasion and rape incident. He's on your screen now, Davion Benjamin. Richmond County deputies say earlier this week he forced his way into a home on River Ridge Drive, raped the resident, and held her at gunpoint. Officials say he then forced the victim to perform sexual acts on him. He's facing kidnapping, rape, home invasion, and several other charges. A 17-year-old's in jail this morning facing murder in connection to an Ellis Street shooting the Richmond County deputies say killed a homeless woman back in July. He's going to be popping up here. Jaden Bell, arrest warrants say Bell sent the location of a rival gang to his gang members, knowing they would carry out a violent act. Investigators say the victim, 54-year-old R.G. Jones, was outside a home on Ellis Street when members shot at that home multiple times, hitting her. Bell is facing murder, unlawful street gang activity, and more. He's being held without bond. Some more hurricane relief food distributions happening today. In Aiken, the Salvation Army is hosting one from 10 to 1. You do have to bring your photo ID. And in Washington County, Golden Harvest is hosting a distribution at noon coming up in the next 5 minutes at the Washington County Recreation Department. That's it for the news side of things this morning. Let's send it over to First Alert meteorologist Tim Strong now for a check at your Friday forecast.
Couldn't be nicer here. It's been nothing but blue skies all week. We're going to see that continue. Temps are in the mid-70s now. A few just lying around that near 70 mark. Crawfordville, Lake Thurman up there, Saluda, you're at 70, but we've already got almost an 80-degree mark, too. Sylvania, 78 degrees. Talking about Friday night football, weather's going to be fantastic, a little warm during pre-games. Other than that, by 7 o'clock, 7:30, the temperatures will be dropping, and they will quickly. The air is dry enough, so I'd say take some sleeves with you. Also, Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee. Gates open at 5. By the time we were working into nightfall, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, we're dropping 60s there. A warm Saturday forecast also for the Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee. Before that, 60s in the evening. We have 70s coming in with a cool down this weekend on Sunday.